Hi everyone. So today I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the latest Meta Ads updates that popped out in mid-August, and this covers the Andromeda algorithm update and the incremental attribution update. So I'll be covering the things that I think would impact most brands and agencies moving forward. But if you'd like to find out more about it, you can just have a look in the Perplexity pages that I'll be attaching next to this video. So yeah, let's get started. When it comes to the Andromeda algorithm update, there are three main things. One is the post-click experience, and they are weighing heavier on this. So this has always been a thing, right? Where Meta would reward brands that have optimal page load times, for example, and that obviously would help with overall performance. But right now, they're saying that the algorithm would put that as another factor in the overall performance of the ad. So it's not just the fact that people land on the page and they don't like the headline, for example, and they ended up not buying. That's not it, right? This has always been the case, but this time around, what it's saying is that hey, if your page takes longer than 3 seconds, for example, we're gonna penalize you. We're gonna make your CPMs higher, and obviously that's not ideal for brands, right? The third thing is faster creative fatigue detection. So long gone are the days where you can have somewhat of a mid tier or like a mediocre ad and have it let it run, getting some good conversions, and then have it later fall off. As you can see here, 7 to 10 days later, for example. What Meta is doing right now is the fact that they will be serving a lot of these responsive micro audiences quicker, meaning that once the audiences that they think will perform have been shown these ads and they don't continue to perform, the drop offs will be a lot quicker rather than it just being out there testing for 7 to 10 days, finding itself, and you know, and then eventually underperforming, right? So for brands that are already having weekly, twice weekly creative refreshes, it's not a big deal. And to be honest with you, I think if you're a brand that is already spending 1,000 a day, this is not a big deal at all because I'm pretty sure you should be doing this already, right? Creative refreshes. So that's that. The last thing I would like to say on the matter as well is um, don't go too overboard on the new creatives variations. Obviously, ads that still work will continue working, right? We've had an ad now, this short form video ad that lasted us, 1 year plus, and it's still standing, right? So it's definitely the case of just quality and quantity as well, right? And lastly, just regarding the rising importance of short form video. So the main takeaway is that static image ads are found to be more expensive compared to reels. And um, I don't believe this has been sort of like just solely due, I mean, the sole reason in this update. I think, well, in my experience across all of the accounts you're managing, short form video, of course, you like good short form video and good statics. I would say good short form videos, which are reels, have always sort of performed better. They have always had cheaper CPMs, in my opinion. And but I guess Meta is like showing the proof here, rather than just my 2 cents, right? So definitely the actionable takeaway here is that if brands are not putting reels as like their primary sort of go-to strategy on Meta, then I think they are definitely falling behind because uh, yeah, it's just cheaper, right? If you're, let's say, just doing statics or VSLs and you're not doing 9 by 16, definitely missing out. So that's my take on the Andromeda algorithm update. And next would be just the incremental attribution update. So for people that are not used to looking at different attribution models, right? What this is basically an alternative to our standard 7-day click, 1-day view. So I won't explain what 7-day click, 1-day view is, but let me give you a very short way in explaining incremental attribution. So if you want to talk to anyone about it, the simplest thing to say is incremental attribution answers whether or not a user would have purchased if they had seen our ad. And the way they do this is they take a similar segment of audience and they show them, well, and they split it, right? A split test. And one of them gets shown the ad and the other one doesn't get shown the ad. And they see whether or not these people would end up purchasing even without seeing the ad, right? And this is very powerful in a few ways. The first is the fact that if we go and use incremental attribution first as our campaign's primary attribution model, we can safely say that this campaign definitely has an impact. So this meta campaign definitely has an impact towards our sales, right? Whereas the previous model and the way people put it back then was meta is lazy, right? They show ads to people that are already going to convert, that are on the verge of converting, so on and so forth. And the biggest issue with that is that, number one, obviously, that will make us spend unnecessarily, target users unnecessarily. And I would say the biggest thing is the third one, which is if we take into account brands that use other channels, right? Like Google, etc., etc. Oftentimes, when you look at softwares such as Triple Whale, Hyros, etc., you can see that there's a lot of overlap. And this overlap sometimes is very hard to control on Meta side because what tends to happen is Meta is an amazing platform and they show ads to many people, but amongst those, a quite significant proportion of them do end up going to Google, going to TikTok, and then end up purchasing, right? Now this would still be the case. However, I would say because of the fact that we can use these softwares and there is this new incremental attribution model, it would essentially, in the simplest way to put it, give platforms like Google a more, what's the word to put it, a more profitable last click. Because as we know, Google is more of like a last click model type of platform, right? But essentially, because we are promoting to users that wouldn't end up converting if they hadn't seen our meta ad, it is beneficial to both platforms, right? Um, yeah, definitely could use more work on explaining that bit. But overall, I would say it's just beneficial for not only Meta, for brands and agencies, but for their other platforms that they're running as well. So definitely, just to cut it short, if you are running ads on multiple platforms, for sure, really consider slowly implementing more campaigns that use this incremental attribution model. So, yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching, and hope you got something useful out of it. Thank you.